So we're coming to you live today from Meadow Park Apartments. This is a 90-unit apartment community that we're doing a very active renovation on. And you might be wondering why it looks like we're at a self-storage facility. So this property was built with 90 apartment units and 120 storage units. So it was built by a builder, a developer, and they used this as kind of like their base of operations when this was built, 50 years ago. And what tends to happen in communities like these that have large banks of detached garages is they tend to accumulate a little bit of stuff. So let's take a look at what 50 years of stuff looks like in a community like this. So every day we are hauling probably in excess of 100 cubic yards of waste out of this community in many different ways. Most of the units, this was kind of, I would say this is like a typical before unit before we start kind of cleaning them out. Here's a unit that we've cleaned out, but now we need to do some graffiti remediation and everything. This unit, there's some miscellaneous construction materials. Maybe those construction materials are valuable, maybe not. Some of these units, it's absolutely fascinating. Like there's this really nice furniture piece here. It's got this nice patina to it, a pallet, all sorts of mixed piece of furniture. Nice little mid-century modern piece there. Here's a unit that is going to need quite a bit of remediation, and you always get a huge number of tires because you have to pay money to dispose of tires. So they tend to just accumulate at facilities like this. There's an old smoke cabinet back there, kind of interesting, a dehumidifier. I actually just found a VHS cassette player, which, believe it or not, is actually quite valuable because they've stopped manufacturing them. You can get a couple $100 for a VHS player on eBay these days. And we have to be very careful about how we dispose of everything that we find. Sorry about that. So you can see we're sorting waste in different piles. We've got a 30-yard dumpster over here, and that's all scrap metal. We can dispose of that for free, or people even pay us a small amount of money to haul it away. We've got lumber product items here to dispose of, so we can break those down into less volume to dispose of those properly. We've got a 7-foot tall pile of lumber products right now. There's lots of things that you can't dispose of in a dumpster in any way, shape, or form. So mattresses, love seats, sofas, all those things we have to take to the recycling center. So we actually own a large box truck, and we take those to the dump every day right now as we're systematically going through all these storage units and emptying them out. You're limited to a maximum of 10 mattresses or pieces of large furniture per day, though, and we're often maxing that out. And then we've got all sorts of interesting items over here as well. Apparently, there was an old school car topper in one of these units. Excess building materials in a lot of them. We've got doors and cabinets that came from the property. So it's a question of, is there any value to those pieces? A lot of the materials that we'll use to renovate these storage units and get all the demising walls back into place, we're getting from the storage unit. So here's a storage unit where we're putting together beds and couches. So this is going to go straight into our box truck. This is like our day's catch limit to go to the recycling center right here. So we stage up garage after garage after garage of mattresses and couches and sofas and armchairs and stuff like that. I think this might be my favorite unit of all. So I believe this was a storage unit that was rented by someone who owned a restaurant. So these buckets are full of waste grease from someone's deep fryer. They probably didn't have a system to set up to dispose of it. So they were probably storing some stuff for the restaurant here, and they'd come to pick up materials or something, and they would drop off a 5 to 55 gallon bucket of grease. And so we have a fair amount of waste we need to dispose of. And all these things have to be disposed of in different ways in different places to make sure that we're compliant with local law, and we're not putting things that go into our local lakes or streams or anything like that. So we spend an incredible amount of time managing trash in all of our renovation projects, and this project is no different, hauling probably 100 cubic yards of waste out of this job site every day. We've got a 20-yard construction dumpster, a 30-yard municipal waste dumpster. We've got 4-yard municipal rolling dumpsters for the tenants that live here that are getting emptied 6 days a week. And it is a massive logistical production just to manage the trash that goes with when we do a full court press, bring a lot of value to a community like this. Just managing the trash alone so you don't drown in this trash is quite a production. So hopefully you find this interesting, just a little bit of insight into the trash management that goes into one of these big renovation projects.